Ha ha! Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Happy Sunday to each and every one of you. Hope you guys are having an absolutely outstanding day. What an awesome time to be an early adopter in this new asset class that is the digital asset space. I got to tell you, some crazy stuff going on. Crazy stuff going on. I try to tell people about the U.S. Entities and what they would try to do. It ain't all Shangri-La and Kumbaya. This has been a very well planned out attack on the digital asset space. And more importantly, it's attack on our sovereign rights to be able to choose our own money and the monetary policy that comes along with it, and to choose how we custody our money. I say this all the time in the channel. We gave them a shot multiple times to try to figure some stuff out. They haven't figured it out. They got the money wrong. They got the monetary policy wrong. They got the custody of your money wrong. They got it wrong. It was not to our benefit. And we have to remember that they are here to serve us. They are here to serve us. Let me say it again. They got the money wrong. They didn't figure it out. The Triffin dilemma is real. They got the monetary and fiscal policy wrong. They can't figure out how to get out of this debt. In fact, they got so much into debt, they can't figure it out. They're just printing money to pay off interest. And the custody of the money, they got it wrong. You can't go into a bank and get your money out the same way that you put it in. They got it wrong. So it's time for us to stand up for the madness and say, no, 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 we gave you a shot. We want to do it our own way. That's what the digital asset space is about. That's why, Bitcoin, in my opinion, even if it is an experiment, it was an experiment to see if we would adopt that. Well, we adopt those mantras of choosing our own money, choosing the monetary policy that comes along with it, giving those options, and the option to choose where we store the money, even if it is, quote, an experiment or was an experiment. Doesn't matter. What do you think the beer code was all about? That Wuhan, what do you think all that madness was about? What do you think that was about? You don't think that was an experiment? Of course it was. What's going on, family? Appreciate you guys checking in. Peter is in the building. How are you, bro? Smash the like. Good to see you, bro. Appreciate that. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button on the way in. That would be super, super cool. We always like to have just as many likes as we have viewers in the stream. And if you've been hanging out, listening to and watching the Crypto Season, you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing to the channel if you've been enjoying those hangouts. And don't forget to ring that notification bell, baby, so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. What's going on, Javon Triple Niner? I got to catch the Crypto Siege live. Yes, sir. God is good. How are you, bro? So listen, this is some stuff going on right now. Caitlin Long is sharing some of the little secrets that the Warren Biden administration tried to sneak in with these money transmitter licenses and the definition of these brokers, broker dealers. I tried to tell people months and months and months ago, went back and forth with a prominent XRP community member. I'm like, nah, no, it's not Shangri-La. They will and they can come after your crypto. They will and they can, unless you fight for it. But you can't just be Shangri-La and not fight for it. You have to know, in order to fight for it, you got to know that it's possible. You got to know that it's possible. Right now, there's a court case going on in the United States about the entities of this government being able to monitor and surveil and the internet and seize any property that they deem to be internet property. Internet property. What would you say that falls under? This is in the court of law right now going on. We can no longer afford to be naive. Look at the madness that's going on right now in these colleges in this country. My mentor used to say to me all the time, Siege. Well, you call me CJ. Often he would say, our greatest strength can oftentimes become our greatest weakness if we don't pay attention to it. If we don't pay attention to it. See, what they want us to do is just walk around in the kumbaya and the Shangri-La and the head in the sand thing and not pay attention. And if we do, or if something comes out that will align us in paying attention, that's what Bitcoin is, not the technology, the idea behind it. To pay attention. And if we begin, more and more of us begin to pay more and more attention. Listen to this, it's so important. When we begin, more and more of us begin to pay more and more attention, what do they throw out next? The divide and conquer strategy. They throw out the divide and conquer strategy. Ultimately, I believe, this is just my personal opinion, ultimately, I believe they want to know if we really value freedom. Do we really value it? Are we really willing to stand up against tyranny? Or are we going to just succumb to, certain entities will not just give up their rule and their power. They'll just break out the guns. So we should just not put up a fight when our sovereign rights are being stolen away from us. Just don't put up a fight about choosing your own money. Don't put up a fight about where you want to store your money. Don't put up that fight about monetary policy and wanting to choose your own money. Don't put those fights up. They'll just break out the guns. I really do believe that they want to see if we really are serious about our freedoms. I said that years and years and years ago, J-Bond, in a live stream. I mean, years and years and years ago, I did a live stream about that. I mean, we'll go over the numbers because the market, it's doing what the market does. We'll go and share some of those numbers, but I can't wait to get into this stuff. Jungle Link did a video today. I'm going to share that video. The wake-up call. It's a wake-up call. I say it's better late than never. It's a wake-up call. It's speaking to exactly what I said months and months and months ago. If they can, they will. And I'm here to say that they can't. Unless you do something about it. There is no, right? If there's no people to rule, then what are they going to be doing? We are the slight edge. It's the people that's the slight edge. We have it. We are it. But if that goes unrecognized, that's a problem. So let me go over the market real quick because according to CoinGecko, Lord, this market is something right now. The total cryptocurrency market cap is 2.51 trillion. Bitcoin dominance is not correct at 50%, probably 54, 55%. Bitcoin is trading at $63,731 again. Ethereum is trading at $3,321 again. Solana's trading at $142 again. And XRP is trading at 51 cents. The market is just ranging between 60,000 and 70,000. Yeah, it's a great time to be in liquidity pools if you know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing. So that's it. The market is just doing what it does. I mean, the Brett meme coins seems to be doing okay on base, but it's just doing what it does. Where do I even want to start, Javon? Where do I even want to start? Let me cover this post from Ryan Sean Adams of Bankless again. I know I shared it yesterday or the day before. I'm a crypto user in America, says Ron. Well, let me actually start that from the beginning. Ron Sean Adams says, Dear Congress, I'm a crypto user in America with non-custodial crypto wallets. I'd like to keep my wallet's activity private for the same reason you want to keep your bank statement or email inbox private. Unfortunately, the United States Treasury keeps making the tools to do this illegal. Who's doing that? Who is making the tools available for me to keep my personal wallets private? The U.S. Treasury. Without privacy options, our wallets are exposed to predatory corporations and foreign actors that will harvest our data and exploit us. There's millions of Americans in this vulnerable situation already, and more exposed every day. We need urgent action to rein in overzealous regulators, those who were selected and not elected, those who were privately selected are these regulators. He signs this letter, concerned citizen. Let me share Jungle Inc.'s video. The title is Wake Up. The government is going after self-custody of crypto. Yep. This is what I said long time ago. You can't be thinking everything's Shangri-La because you got a Ledger Nano. Like, you can't think that. Right? Yeah, we have to, I don't know. For me, getting back to the idea of a patriot. Feels kind of right. Patriot. Are we paying attention to what's going on in colleges? Are we paying attention to what's going on abroad? It's an attack. It really is. All right, let's look at this from the beginning. Let's listen to that.
What's going on? Because this is huge, and you have to understand all governments are tyrannical, and as cryptocurrency enthusiasts, we will always be in an adversarial position. This is starting to get scary, and most people have no idea what's going on. It started out, of course, with the SEC ruffling some feathers, suing people like Ripple. They're not having great success, but now we see the DOJ, the FBI, the SEC, and the IRS, all kind of attacking crypto.
And all of those are non-elected. All of those positions, pick them. SEC, IRS, pick them. DOJ, pick them. The unelected. And we can't just, again, be just nonchalant about it. Or you could take the Laura Shen approach, who's been hoodwinked and bamboozled, or the XRP entertaining content creators who have been hoodwinked and bamboozled into all their energy and resources being maxis.
Under this idea that everything is either a mixing service or some sort of money transmitter. The first article I will show you is in regards to Samurai Wallet, founders and CEOs of crypto mixing service arrested and charged with money laundering and unlicensed money transmitting offenses. Now that's what I want you to keep your eye on, that term, unlicensed money transmitting. What does that mean? Well, it could be a non-custodial wallet. It could be a node or validator runner. It could be a lot of different things. And this case against Samurai Wallet was brought by the DOJ, but as we will see, this is going to be a continuing theme here. IRS right now, they just released, it's an unfinished form, it's a 1099 DA. And the US tax agency has shared what the form might look like. And it shows you where their thinking is. One of the items on there is self-custody. They want, the IRS wants your self-custody wallet, whether it's Trezor, Ledger, Sun Wallet, MetaMask, whatever it is. They want to claim that those, devices or services, those are brokers, and they want those brokers to 1099 the users. What does this really mean at the heart of things? Well, if they're a broker, they're going to have control over that wallet, aren't they? Because what happens if you just put, my name is Jed McCaleb, and you put in a fake social security number? Like, that's not going to be effective. They're going to have controls over those services in order to shut off your access. And if the government can shut off your access for not complying with 1099s, well, they can shut off your access for any reason they deem fit.
Yep. This is what I've been saying from the beginning. And again, if you're not aware that it's possible, you can walk around with your head in the sand thinking everything's kumbaya. That's why I posted on X what I posted months and months ago. We got to be aware of it in order to take the fight to the people who are supposed to be serving us so that they can rein in the unelected. DOJ, IRS, SEC, just to name a few. Just to name a few. Hugely important. Hugely important. Small business docs in the building. What's going on, bro? What up, Siege? Happy Sunday, brother. Happy Sunday to you, my guy. Yeah, I hear you, man. A small business doctor says, I'm getting ready to eliminate MetaMask from my wallet options. Where are you going to go to? Where are you going to go to, man? Where are you going to go to? You're going to go to Rabby? Where are you going to go? Are you going to go to Zango? Where are you going to go? Are you going to try XX Network, perhaps? Where are you going to go? Railgun? What you looking at, bud? Rodwell Nobrega is in the building. How are you, bro? Is that right? As Joe says, best thing I ever did was move to Puerto Rico. We lose the right to vote for the president. Interesting. But pay zero in federal tax. That's also interesting. And no IRS. No funding wars. Yeah. No tax dollars, no funding the war. I only pay 4% on 1-year-old crypto. Small business says I'm still doing research. Gotcha. Yeah, maybe you talking about Rabby or RABBY, small business, that wallet. Heard some good stuff about that. And I also heard that they are not doing all the information and the data transferring that MetaMask does. This is what I heard about Rabbi Wallet. Slovenia, says Javon 999. That's where I would move. Slovenia. So this is some interesting stuff, right? So Jungle Link, I'm glad that you're doing the video because it's important. And again, I didn't sound the alarm just to be like an alarmist. I just want people to just, from my experience and having been in very top secret situations my whole adult working career, I knew what was possible if the Patriots become numb to things, just kind of become numb and adopt this idea of, well, we're just going to have to succumb. I mean, after all, they got the guns. We'll just have to succumb to things. We'll just give in. It's scary stuff. So let me share some stuff there. So that was from why is this on here? That was from Ryan, right? About the self-custody. And he's this is right. This will be something that you could just copy and send to your local congressperson, right? Right? Right now, I see one or two people in Congress who kind of get the idea that our freedoms and our sovereignties are being attacked. And in the crypto and digital asset space is sounding that kind of alarm. And we have to be wary of the divide and conquer that Operation Choke Point has implemented. Operation Choke Point 3.0. Got to be careful of that. So let me see what else I wanted to share here. Here's Warren Davison. Let me just put this on share. Who I believe is just one of a single handful who understands what's trying to be done. I mean, one of like a single handful, one handful. The FBI warns Americans, says Alex Glasstein. Strange how we got here, given that privacy was enshrined in the Bill of Rights in 1791. This is coming from another three-letter agency, the FBI. Alert on cryptocurrency money service businesses. The FBI warns against using crypto money transmitting services that are not registered as money service businesses, according to United States federal law, and do not adhere to any anti-money laundering requirements. Services that do not collect know your customer information from your customers when required. Warren Davis says, account-based third-party doctrine compliant customer surveillance mandatory. Customer surveillance mandatory to access your own money. This is why, in my opinion, this is why the rush to go cashless. There's one from Caitlin Long that I want to share with you as well. But this is one that it's time to pay attention, right? I don't really post on X, but every now and then I'll post. We can no longer afford to be naive. The enemy is not Bitcoin maxis and XRP maxis. That's the divide and conquer strategy. The divide and conquer strategy is to get you and I comparing our technologies, comparing our fees, comparing the speeds, warring about a level one as opposed to a layer one as opposed to a layer two. To keep us distracted on race issues and gender issues and voting issues. Ryan Sean Adams put this out the other day. This is interesting. U.S. versus Roman Storm is one of the most important cases for civic rights in our time. The United States is arguing that there's no internet transaction. It can't surveil right? They can hide behind the guise of, keeping the country safe. But what about property? It throws in property as well. The United States is arguing that there's no internet transaction, it can't surveil, and no internet property it cannot seize. It's happening now. That's why I said the crypto war is happening right now. Let's see if I have Caitlin Long's here. Where's Caitlin Long's post? If you're not watching, you should be. She says, where's the fair notice of this new position? This is a shift. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time I've ever seen Warren and Biden, Elizabeth Warren, President Biden, take this position. It also contradicts existing FinCEN guidance, no? And she's got highlighted here. Section 1960, I guess, of some new proposed bill or something. Section 1960 does not require the business to have control of the funds. The definition of money transmitting in Section 1960 does not require the money transmitter to have control of the funds being transferred. They're trying to put them and say they have to be a broker, have a money transmitter license. But like a non-custodial wallet that we would argue doesn't have control of that money. They're trying to say it doesn't matter if they don't have it. They got it written in here, something that they want to try to get passed. In Section 1960 does not require the business to have control of the funds. Does not require the business to have control of the funds. The blockchain already does this, just like small business doctors are saying. The blockchain already does the stuff that they want to do. The blockchain is open, this desourced, they can see transactions. But there's no control, there's no access to your money. They want to get rid of anything that they don't have access to, like property. That they're calling it right now internet property. They're calling it internet property right now. And pretty soon that definition of internet money would be your digital assets. Again, unless you're willing to let your local Congress people go, no, and don't feel as though it won't make a difference. You got to know that it does make a difference. You have to know that it does make a difference. Taking the time to, copy something and email it to your local representative to fight the unelected bureaucrats who are trying to take away your property. Trying to take away your property. That's the real fight. That's the real fight. Just like my mentor said, sometimes your greatest strength, what he would say is your greatest strengths can sometimes become your greatest weakness if you don't pay attention to it. What's going on, Dano? Dan, I appreciate you checking in, bro. Dano says I'll have to watch the entirety later. It's just hugely important. They want us to feel defeated. They want us to feel like what we do doesn't matter. There's a reason why, there's a big time reason why most people say things like, this is the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. This is an opportunity for the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Raoul Paul, this is the greatest macro trade in the history of finance. And you think that you're not going to have to fight for that. We will have to fight for that. The idea, notion of a level playing field. And the idea of adjusting the scale of have and have nots. You have to fight for those things. We really do. We got to fight for them. All right. So I don't know why that keeps coming up when I do that. So I got one more thing to share, but I'm gonna hang out in the chat here a little because this Jungle put up a poll that is I'm thinking, where did this idea even come from? Where did this idea even come from, Jungle? The crypto end game. What's going on, bro? I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. Crypto Rogers here. How are you, my friend? Well, yeah. Crypto Roger says our country outlawing self-custody seems unreal unless every country does it. You know, there's a tendency that for other nations to just fall in line with what the US does. Ain't Pen 27's in the building. How are you, my friend? I mean, don't they? Historically, that's what's happened. And then you get these groups like the World Bank and G7 and G20s and IMFs to get the other nations who might not fall in line, in line. Yeah, it's, if the US does, we follow. That's right, J Pawn 99. And then you got the IMF and the World Banks and the G20s of the world to get the nations that might say that's not right. They're saying that every person is entitled to self-custody of their own assets. Then the IMFs and the World Banks of the world stand up. The key is for us, in my opinion, as patriots of this country, to fight that so it doesn't go anywhere outside of you. And so it doesn't happen in the US. And perhaps it starts with a person at the administration level, at the top level, who's not willing to sacrifice his country for personal profit. Hugely important. Let me see if I can find this post from Jungle, because I find this post to be fascinating. Let's go here for right there. Like what the world is going on? When and how come and why did that happen? Okay, there it is. So again, I offer the idea of not becoming complacent, not thinking it's Shangri-La. Don't fall for the maxi stuff that keeps us divided and distracted. Realize the bigger picture. It doesn't matter if we went through a fight and they didn't chime in to help. There's a bigger fight going on. There's a bigger fight going on. There's a bigger, imagine being so deep into a ETH that you miss Caitlin Long's post, that you miss Ryan Sean Adams' post, that you miss Senator Warren Davidson's post. Like, imagine that. Imagine if we didn't know about the DOJ and the FBI and what the SEC is doing. Imagine if we didn't know. And I get it. That's a big deal because Eatgate's a big deal because it involves U.S. entity, but it's the same entity. It's the SEC. It's the same entity. It's the U.S. government. I don't know. Is a monopoly over creating an Ethereum monopoly more important than your ability to custody your own crypto? Or is it the fact that Ethereum tried to create a monopoly more important? I don't know. Is a rogue like if you don't get the uh if we don't rid ourselves of people willing, again, Hinman and Clayton fall in the same category as current administration. People who sacrifice the country for personal profit. Those are personal profit things. I mean, Hinman 15 mil. We just didn't find out about Clayton's deal. 15 million to violate the law, the rule, the ethos of protecting citizens and providing a level playing field. That was violated. A level playing field. It was violated. So it's not Ethereum. That's why I'm talking about the max thing. It's not celebrating Vitalik and Lubin. It's exposing that. I know we want to say the SEC, and I know sometimes we say the IRS, but in the end, it's the U.S. government. It's the U.S. government. Now, again, on a lighter note, I'm just very, very curious as to why Jungle posted this. This is interesting to me. Jungle Inc. posted this. Where is it? It's interesting to me. It says, would it bother you, Jungle Inc. posted this, would it bother you if a YouTuber had an undisclosed ambassador agreement? First of all, what is that? What is an ambassador agreement with Ripple? What is that? That's the first time I've ever heard of such a thing. Maybe he's just posing a question. Would it bother you if a YouTuber had an undisclosed ambassador agreement with Ripple, and part of that agreement had terms against speaking bad about the company or its services? 75% said yes. 24% said no. I think it was even as high as 30% and then 60-something% at one time, but there it is. It's an interesting question. And I responded, so what the F? So if the bad is true, then the truth can't be spoken about? I could think of a couple of content creators in the entertaining content creator space for XRP who this is where they lie. Terms against speaking bad about the company or services. Ever. Ever? Never ever? I could think of two content creators that fall right in line with that. An agreement with Ripple, and part of that agreement is terms against speaking bad about the company. So even if the bad may be true, you can't speak the truth, and that's part of an agreement. You can't speak the truth. That's alarming. And I'm sure you guys, if you've been around an XRP community, you know exactly at least two people that could fall right in line with that. I say it all the time. How is it that the vast majority, how is it that the vast majority of XRP holders know more about Link 2 and I Trust Capital? How is that possible than they do about the XRPL ledger, than they do about the automated market maker, than they do about the lending protocol, than they do about Anados Finance, Orchestra Finance, DexFi.pro, XPunks, XP Market, and Ripple. And Ripple. Yes, sir, says Triple G Facts Bet. What's going on? Inkpen 27 says that's sad. So, I mean, think about it. Trying to think about some kind of disparaging remark or comment that would be a truth about Ripple. What would that be? Remember for the longest time, Ripple, the company, was being called out for quote unquote dumping on the XRP community, quote unquote dumping. And a lot of times it was the answer to that was, well, they stopped programmatic sales. They stopped programmatic sales, which means at one time they were selling and doing programmatic sales. At one time they were selling XRP for whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know if that's quote unquote dumping on a community, but I do think about the times that the company, which is a company, Ripple, utilizing the asset XRP, utilizing it, because you could use the asset for some stuff and not be building on the ledger. That's why someone from Thomas Silkier from the XRPLF, I believe, kept saying, why does it feel like the company is moving away from the ledger instead of on to the XRPL? This is someone from I believe, Thomas Silkier is from the XRPLF. Haven't heard from him lately. Or in this comments from Jungle, I'm going to share a post from someone saying, well, it's okay to not speak any bad as long as everything is positive. Well, it's just look, if it's not true, but it's positive, I mean, at least it's positive. We just want positive, not truths, positive. Yep. Not truths, positives. You ever get that sense from certain content creators? Just be positive. So which one was it? Oh, it was right over here from On the Chain. Now I don't know about this stuff with Crypto Hulk. I mean, I don't know. I don't watch his videos. On the Chain, Chip from On the Chain says this. It's troubling to see so many people following Crypto Hulk. Crypto Hulk 19 and engaging with his videos. I guess this thing is at Crypto Hulk 19 on X. I don't know. Especially given that his videos are mostly filled with baseless content. His unawareness of respected XRP authorities, unawareness? Like he doesn't know who Crypto Eddie is. It's a little alarming. His unawareness of respected XRP authorities like Crypto Eddie speaks volumes. Consider using critical thinking. Why would he be the sole source of such exclusive information? Although Crypto Hulk has a remarkable imagination, it is largely disconnected from reality and real world folks. Someone here on X says, at least it's positive, baseless content. I mean, even though it's baseless and has no semblance of reality, at least that baseless content is positive. That is alarming. I mean, another word for baseless could be the fact that it's not true. So at least the lie is positive. At least the misrepresentation, at least the non-factual is positive. That's why we say on this channel a lot of times, Javon, we say it's not enough to merely be hoped up. You have to know what it is that you hold, which means taking the positive and the negative, in my opinion. Taking the positive and the negative. My mentor used to say, what's the matter with you? You can't handle a little negative? You can't handle the fact that 3 lights in a row you rolled up and it was red? You can't handle the fact that you got a flat tire on your way to an important meeting? Yeah. Yeah. Inkpen 27. So you can only speak positive about XRP? What's another word for propaganda? Yeah. Yeah. So again, we gotta clean some stuff up and understand there's a bigger fight going on. Again, I don't know who Crypto Hope. I don't know who he is. Like I mean, like I know who he is. I think he has a beard all the time, but I don't know him, and I don't watch his videos. Um, I know Crypto Eddie. I know that she tends to not post stuff unless she has the receipts for stuff. I know she tends to not put out videos unless she tends to not put out videos without the receipts for stuff. That I mean, that I know. I do to me, if it's positive, awesome. If it's negative, awesome. I need to know what it is that I hold. I need to know that I know. Negative is not going to disparage me against saying that Ripple, in my opinion, has been a good steward of the escrow. Has been a value add to XRP and the XRPL. So if I discover some truth that's negative, that's not going to cause me to not continue to say that about Ripple. What am I going around thinking they're perfect? I'm going around thinking a company with a dude running it is perfect. They ain't gonna make any mistakes. What the world? They're not gonna make any mistakes. They're not gonna do something that they thought was good and it ended up not being great. That's not gonna happen with a company run by a dude. Really? Wow. Wow. I got mad respect for Chris Larson, Brad Garlinghouse. There's zero chance that I think they're perfect. There is zero shot of me thinking they can do no wrong. Zero chance of that ever happening in the crypto season home. Oh, Brad Garlinghouse, he can do no wrong. Oh, Chris Larson. Oh, what? Not a shot of that ever happening. Don't get me quoting scripture on you guys. Don't get me quoting some scripture on you. Like there is zero shot of that happening for me, ever, ever. So anyway, that's part of knowing what you hold. Could you imagine the fall? Could you imagine the fall of Chris Larson and Brad Garlinghouse because you decided to put them so high up on a pedestal? Can you imagine the fall of Ripple because you decided to put them so high up on some pedestal, bordering on idolizing? Come on, bro. Come on. I'm not into that at all. Not because of me. It ain't because of me that I'm not into it. I'm not into that at all. No. I don't care how good looking Brad Garlinghouse is. No, I'm putting that dude up on some pedestal. No, I don't care how finely dressed he is. Oh, I'm joking. All right. What's going on? Opt out, huh? Opt out of the US tax system, says one gone bop. How does one opt out of the tax system, bro? I've been on that. I've been watching some videos on that. It's interesting, all the videos that I watch on that is kind of very much on the, it always feels like they're trying to hide themselves. Like they do a video on YouTube, but they want to hide that they're doing a video on YouTube. There's an organization out there that'll help you with that whole situation right there. There's an organization out there. Yep. I listened to the CEO whole organization on that because we really did opt into it. By the way, the whole IRS thing was it's an opt-in thing. You know what's going on? One gone bop. I love that name. All right, fam. So there it is. Look, we got to pay attention to what's going on. We cannot put up a fight unless we know there's a war going on. And I would just humbly submit to you, there's a bigger war going on than Maxi stuff, than better technology stuff, than less fees stuff, than, less fees and slower, stuff. You know, I think it's fascinating. How many people think it's fascinating that the US all of a sudden, not, I wouldn't say all of a sudden, but the US is the one that is fighting the digital asset space? That's fascinating to me. fascinating to me. It feels as though nations that are not quote unquote democratic are more open to the digital asset space. Isn't that interesting? Places that you and I would probably not want to live. I find it as interesting that they're more open to the idea of the digital asset space and custodying your own stuff, choosing your own money, the monetary policy that comes along. I find that to be fascinating. But in any case, we got to start here. We have to, in my opinion, we have to start here with the fight here. And other nations will follow along because they see that the patriots stood up. And again, for me right now, Warren Davidson seems to be the only one who really has a kind of a clear picture. Maybe Torres, Richie Torres, Congressman Richie Torres, perhaps Tom Emmer, perhaps Patrick McHenry. But I can tell you can count them on one hand. But we have major power. Just don't feel helpless. We have major power. The digital asset space numbers in terms of voting is massive. Our numbers are massive. We have power to get some things done, to make some change, to put people in office who are willing to honor our rights to our own property. There's, I don't know. There's little to no shot that the idea of self custody in crypto means people will not pay their fair share of taxes. I think that's just a lie. Their fair share. I think it's just a lie. I think it's just a lie that this is about national security. Blockchains have a lot of transparency in them. They have a lot of transparencies in Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. There's a lot of transparency. All right, family, there it is. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate you guys checking in. I'm going to wrap this thing up. It's been a real cool hang. I appreciate you guys taking your valuable time on a Sunday to hang out with the Crypto Siege. I got to take a little break, and I'm going to get into some more studying and some stuff that I can't wait to bring to you guys. It's going to be really cool. Really cool stuff. For sure. One Gump Bop and J-Bond 99999. Appreciate you checking in, my friends. Inkpen 27 and Triple G Facts Bet. Crypto Roger, I appreciate you guys checking in. It's always a cool hang. Dano, when you guys check in. The Crypto End Game, Small Business Doctors, Rodwell No Breaker. I appreciate you guys checking in as always. Peter was first in the building. I appreciate you, my guy. I'm going to end this live stream like I do all my live streams and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye.